Welcome back, beautiful digital SAT people. It's your TTA Pro, Mr. O, back with a test 2, module 1 episode. Let me write it up here. So, test 2, module 1 episode. So let's begin. In the early 1800s, the Cherokee scholar Sequoyah created the first script or writing system for an indigenous language in the United States. Because it represented the sounds of spoken Cherokee so accurately, his script was easy to learn and thus quickly achieved blank use. Look at the example or the explanation after the colon. By 1830, over 90% of the Cherokee people could read and write it. Wow. Wow. So what kind of use is it? Is it widespread use? Careful, unintended, or infrequent? Well, we're going to say widespread because by 1830, so in 30 years, 90% of the Cherokee were using it. So obviously it had widespread adoption. Careful wouldn't fit the context. Unintended, well, was it unintended use? I mean, he made a whole writing system, so he didn't intend on it to be used though? No, I'm going to say answer C. Infrequent, well, 90% uses, so you won't say infrequent. Best answer is A. A for apples. Again. Welcome, Bizak. Reading here, a blank an array. So here, the all-female cast blank an array of female characters, including a strong mother and several daughters dealing with individual struggles. So one word I can think of is the all-female cast. So for example, represents an array or various female characters, right? So to engulf means to encompass or something like to swallow. Look at my beautiful handwriting. So I don't like answer A. Encourages means to support, but I mean, here we're saying including. So what kind of encouragement is being done here? So there's no encouragement because you have to ask yourself, how does it fit? Comprises, which means made of, which means to represent. And I like answer C because what we're saying is the all-female cast now is made of or represents a bunch of different female characters. Provoke means to incite, and this is obviously a very negative word. This wouldn't work either. Question number 3. No, Mr. Povoli. I'm going to read this for you guys so you guys get an idea of what we're discussing. So Vicente Lull and his team uncovered the skeleton of a woman from El Algar, an early Bronze Age society buried with valuable objects signaling a high position of power. Now, I want you guys to focus on the independent sentence because the phrase in the middle probably confused you guys. This finding may persuade researchers who have argued that Bronze Age societies ruled by men to blank that women may have also held leadership roles. So if you notice in idea number 1 that they found a woman buried and she's a high-ranking woman or high-ranking female. And so in idea number 2 that some researchers believed the Bronze Age was dominated by men. However, because of this new finding that a woman was found in high standing, it may make these researchers to blank that women may have also held leadership roles. So basically what we're looking for here is that these researchers have to admit that they are wrong, right? Admit that the original idea is wrong. So which answer indicates that they are wrong? Waive means to dismiss, but they're not, to waive that women, I mean, they're not waiving anything. What does concede mean? And the answer is concede. To concede means to recognize a mistake, to recognize a fault or an issue. So if you give a directive, an idea, or whatever it is, and you concede that idea, you retract that idea. So I like answer B, concede. Answer C would contradict, because refute means to go against. And so, I mean, there's proof that women had high positions. So these researchers who believe there was only men, how would it make them refute that women had leadership roles, right? When the paragraph tells us otherwise. So we won't say answer C, and require will, I mean, require means something mandatory, and so we don't have that here. So answer is B. Question number 4. A bit of a different one here in test number 2. I think this didn't appear in test number 1 in any of the answer choices. What does the word mean in context? Welcome back. And if you want to find context-based questions, you'll find them on thetestadvantage.com. Cecily Algernon, this is a good book, by the way. Oh, is it? No, I don't know this book. Oscar Wilde's play, The Importance of Being Earnest. I'm going to begin from here, Cecily, or Cecily. I guess that's the name, or how you pronounce the name. It is always painful to part from the people whom one has known for a very brief space of time. The absence of old friends one can endure with equanimity, but even a momentary separation from anyone to whom one has just been introduced is almost unbearable. Wow, okay. So if you look at the first idea, it's telling us that it is painful to separate from someone you've known in a brief space. Now, it tells us in the second idea, the absence of old friends one can endure. And notice the contrast. But even a momentary separation from anyone to whom one has just been introduced is unbearable. I guess this guy's not really a good friend if he's, obsessed with new friends so quickly, and old friends are easily tossed aside. So this idea tells us old friends, you can endure their absence, but new friends, that is something you cannot endure, something that is unbearable. So what can endure mean? Well, generally speaking, means to persist or tolerate, one of these two words. A, regret or encourage, these don't fit in context. So persist means to continue, and tolerate means to withstand. And here we're talking about pain and anguish, so we would say tolerate, or endure means tolerate.